Hey, Jenny Rarick with Fit to Speak. Today's video is about eye contact. Eye contact is an important part of our in-person and video virtual interactions. I always say that eye contact is important because it's really the most natural form of connection that we have with other people. When we see people making eye contact with us, we feel important. It feels like they're present with us, and we often perceive them as being more trustworthy and composed, or just confident in that specific situation that we're interacting with them with. Now, before I get into the specifics of eye contact, I also want to mention that there are some of us who are uncomfortable or even unable to make and sustain eye contact. It can actually make us feel like it's getting in the way of us being able to think about and articulate ourselves in a way that's clear. So if that's you, there are other ways that you can connect outside of eye contact that I'll mention toward the end of this clip. But for those of us that can make eye contact, it's something that we're able to do, but maybe we're just out of the habit of doing it. Anytime you're communicating with one-on-one, you want to make eye contact periodically. It's a good way to check in on whether or not people are understanding or connecting with what you're saying. It's, like I said earlier, it's also just a great way to demonstrate your presence with people. But I want to focus more so on what to do with your eye contact when you're speaking to more than one person. Now, most of us, when we're speaking to more than one person, we tend to do this thing with our eyes where we just graze them across the group of people we're interacting with. The analogy I always use is it's like a sprinkler. It's just, left to right, but it's jumpy. There's not ever a point where it feels really focused. And if you do that, and I were to ask you why you do that, you would probably tell me it's because you want to engage everybody. But often you're retrofitting an explanation onto a behavior, because true engagement of a group of people means that you have to actively engage the individual people that make up that group. We can't engage a group of people collectively because they're all taking us in at an individual level. If I have a group of 10 people in front of me, I can't engage all 10 at once. If I want to engage the 10 of them, I have to work on engaging one of those people at a time. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make focused eye contact with one person at a time as I share my message. That means I'm going to look at one person, say something. When I get to a place that there's a natural break in what I'm saying, I'm going to simply move my eye contact to another random person in that group, connect with them for a few seconds, say something, move to a different person. But it's as if I'm going around and I'm only engaging and interacting with one person at a time. By the end of my message, everyone in that group is going to feel personally engaged. And because they all feel engaged at an individual level, now I've been successful in engaging the entire group. It feels really awkward for us as speakers to do this, but I think it only feels awkward because you're not used to doing it. I've been teaching and coaching and actively practicing this stuff myself because I have to teach it since 2017, and it's not awkward at all anymore. And in fact, I have never felt more connected to the people I communicate with than I have, simply because of making eye contact. And I've noticed that my comfort with making eye contact with people invites them to return the favor to me and feel more comfortable doing so. Now, I'm not asking you to stare at people. There's always going to be that moment where it feels socially awkward, or there's this tension between you and the person you're making eye contact with. If you sense that, just move your eye contact to somebody new, because that's a signal to you that maybe you've been on with that person for too long. Practice making eye contact hold it for a brief thought or one point, and then move on to somebody else and just see the impact that it has on your comfort and connectedness as the one sharing the message, and then how you feel your connection is with the people you're interacting with. Before I close this out, I mentioned that there are some people that are neurodivergent, meaning from a social standpoint, these general social rules don't apply or work for them. And if that's you, there are other ways that you can connect with people. That connection can happen by the pace at which you're speaking, meaning incorporating more deliberate pauses so that your listeners have a chance to really digest what you're saying, and it makes you sound more thoughtful in what you're saying. So that can create connection. Other ways are using personal words and pronouns. When you're speaking to people, using words like you and we and I, as opposed to more objective or surface level words. There's a better way I could say that, and I'm not thinking of that right now. But refer to people personally. That's a great way to create connection if you're not comfortable making eye contact. And then the third one is just make sure that when you're messaging, you're always framing your information through what's important to the people you're speaking to, which might be different than why that information is important to you. That's a great way to make a connection with people, is to really hit home or nail on the points as to why this information is specifically important to them. All those things can help create connection if you're someone who struggles with making that direct eye contact. Give it a try. Thanks for listening.